very. It is not showing up to class today in the prize cards, unfortunately, and yeah, that's going to be a huge impact in this matchup, especially since this deck list is not playing anything like the Mega Mawile EX we see featured. It means late game, Rafael's really going to struggle to find a way to get a one-hit KO on Dragapult, and that is an absolutely disastrous spot you do not want to be in.
Yeah, that is a very important Pokemon. You see the tech inclusions of even having a Psychic Energy to go along with that also in the prize cards too, so could be even trickier to get that combo, and I'm probably not going to see it in this opening game, which means you better start working with that Wellspring quick.
Over on Justin's side, nothing too fancy to note before we get in. It is Dragapult Dusknoir. He has been playing this deck a lot this season, a lot last season, is very seasoned, knows how to play this matchup out, and a lot of what might happen comes down to how these early turns play out. Round number 1 of Phase 2, our 9th Swiss round, is getting underway, and Justin does start that unfortunately hefty, yet adorable Blood Moon Ursaluna.
Yeah, he talks about seasons a lot, and seasoned skill is not online yet, unfortunately for Justin. He's got a long road ahead of him. Does play a copy of that Latias, maybe could move around, but not about him right now. Rafal is cooking, and he's got that Ultra Ball to get things rolling. I think you know where this is going.
Fan Rotom turn 1, that is the recipe for success. Does get rid of a Hoot Hoot off the Ultra Ball, so can really mean one of two things, Kyle. When you see your opponent discard a Hoot Hoot, what of those two things is it signaling to you?
There's probably a lot more coming on this turn. You see that there's already the Fan Rotom. You have the Hoot Hoot and the Noctowl to get things rolling here, but when you have the Ditto that you can transform to start into as well, this is going to include a Tera Pokemon and everything to go along with it. Turn 2 threats online.
And a card we actually don't see played a lot in this Tera Box deck, just the normal copy of Switch, a card that's been around essentially for the entire history of the Pokemon TCG, allows this Ditto to move into the active spot for free thanks to Switch, and now will become what is most likely going to be that Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, threatening that turn 2 Torrential Pump, or even a Sob on Blood Moon is just such a large threat if you're unable to get that out of the active thanks to something like Latias EX.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. This Pokemon could be stuck for a long time. And a little unfortunate for Rafal to not see that energy attachment so often. That is the key piece. We know Crispin can help accelerate later on, but you'd like to see that energy before you have to commit down that A-Spec.
This hand is pretty awkward here for Justin. No searching cards outside of this Ultra Ball. We'll go ahead and pitch away the Fire Energy and Boss's orders. Gonna take this first opportunity to search the deck, and with Iono being the supporter choice to follow, as Justin's got to draw some cards in this spot, you can only search out one Pokemon here. Do you search the Latias out to move, Treepy to get things set up? You can't even search that Latias out. Wow, look at this. A card you know that is always good to allow you to hit turn 1 Badoo. It's even more powerful. The Turo's gone there too. There's no way to get this bear. It's hibernating. You can't hibernate in the middle of a battle.
Oh, I mean, we are getting closer to winter, but yeah, this is a problem. There's not much going on for Justin with this start. I mean, we saw the prizes. We didn't think much of it, but with this Pokemon specifically in the active, it does turn things around. We see for Justin, it means he needs to focus on finding cards and finding answers, and this is something you're going to have to do. He has to commit energies to Blood Moon and just start working through Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, you 2 more turns. If 2 of your Pokemon get knocked out, you can go ahead and use that Blood Moon for 3 energy. It's not something we usually see used before opponents get to 2 prize cards or less. But if you expect your opponent to try and trap this Pokemon or knock out some bench Pokemon thanks to Boss and Torrential Pump, it's a good option to have available. I know. Find some more Pokemon here. That's the first thing in. Yeah, wow. Well, didn't look too good from those first 4 cards, but double Nest Ball the last 2 draws. Pretty solid, all things considered, for this circumstance.
Right, this is where you need to be to see more Pokemon, get them onto the board, and we're going to get some news about Justin's deck list. This is a 1-1-1 line. I know we talked about it before.
Oh, it became real?
It's a real 1-1-1 line this time around. So as far as using these pieces of the Duskull, it's only going to be 1 potentially to slow things down, and we'll try to accelerate this Blood Moon Ursaluna, but we're not going to see a Blood Moon attack for quite some time.
So the 1 Duskull, the choice from Nest Ball, and Justin actually smartly holding the other Nest Ball. As a potential down the line to get another Pokemon, we saw Cal Connor put on an excellent display of how important it is to not bench Pokemon too fast. So energy committed, Dreepy and Duskull hit the board, and right away for Rafal, who needs Jewel Seeker, just going to play the Crispin to search energies out. And now the question is, without playing Boss's orders for turn, is there anything else more appealing than just sobbing in this spot?
You can, of course, try to take a KO if you want to remove one of these Dreepy or target down that single copy of Duskull, but what are you really accomplishing with that? I feel like this might be a spot where you can put some energies onto the board, keep them around for a bit, and your opponent's not going anywhere. You're staring down 1 Duskull and a Blood Moon. There's no attack, at least this next turn.
So it will be the Water Energy itself. The 1 copy does usually signal. Actually, 2 Water Energy in this deck, excuse me. We see the 1 a lot of times, and okay, a bit of a tech inclusion. The Iron Bundle foreshadowing a potential Torrential Pump down the line. That is a nice threat to have in play by no means.
Yeah, Rafal is really starting to make some threats here, and he did not play down a Noctowl. This is a really great spot when you think about what your opponent is capable of on the following turn. You don't need to overcommit these resources when there's a chance that your opponent just uses Iono on you next turn. You can free up that space, use that evolution later on. We'll see what Justin's able to come up with here.
So we'll be recon directive number 1. This is Dragapult's MO. Just keep going through the deck, finding cards, and this bear is getting a little bit more fed, it feels like. He's getting ready to come out of his cave every single time an energy comes down. Will be Iono number 2. Searching through the deck, we'll see if another Drakloak is found, potentially. Looks like Buddy popping.
And Rafal rewarded by not playing down that Noctowl, not overextending in that spot. Gets to see some of these Stage 1 Pokemon that he'd love to target down the line. And Justin, it is just that pass of the turn, the single Drakloak that was used. He's got the Blood Moon to start working next turn, but it's not exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah, and the question is there any better time than right now to strike? Taking the first 2 prize cards puts you in such a prime position, and with this Noctowl Jewel Seeker being used, the question now for Rafal, is it better to commit your Sparkling Crystal here, or do you save it later for something like Pikachu to deal with this Blood Moon Ursaluna?
Yeah, and you might honestly need to hold on to it for a later turn. We see that there is an energy, so if you want to use the Wellspring Ogrepon in combination with Boss's orders, that could certainly be done, but he's going to play this handout and start to expand onto this board here, too.
He's considering using another Ultra Ball. Noctowl, very, very powerful, but you are limited to those 4 Jewel Seeker abilities the entire game. And with Rafal kind of being off to as good of a start as it potentially gets, you know, Ultra Ball early on, you got the Fan Rotom, the Blood Moon start is great because you can stop it in the active spot. For all those things considered, it does feel like a lot of resources to commit in terms of this trade-off, which means that by taking 2 prize cards, a single attachment onto this Blood Moon will mean it's active and ready to swing.
Yeah, the only thing that this signals to me is that Rafal's been bitten in the past by a Jamming Tower, and he wants to cash in on the use of this card early, and then have those Crispins for the later turns, just have the energies themselves to get the attacks through, but I don't know if you need to do anything like this just yet.
Yeah, and using it to grab Lily of all cards, so may not even see a Boss's orders, just wants to try and draw some more cards instead. Values just getting back that Hoot that was discarded on the first turn along with the Pheasantipity EX. Latias comes down, the bench is expanded. We'll have to see if some of those basic Pokemon are found, though, off of these 8 cards from Lily.
Yeah, if there's not an energy attachment to a relevant Pokemon here, then this is a wild misuse of resources to get to this point. However, there's still some pretty great draws that could happen. If you see the Hoot, any of those Pokemon added in, and then perhaps a Pokemon like that Pikachu, something to get an energy attached to, then you feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and of course, the 2 prizes are guaranteed this turn. The Iron Bundle can move this Blood Moon Ursaluna to the bench, and then Torrential Pump can KO the Drakloak and then any of these other Pokemon. However, you've used up both of your Noctowl. If a Hoot does not come down into play, thankfully it will off of this Nest Ball. But even so, you've got 1 Jewel Seeker at your disposal next turn, and without having Lily's Clefairy EX, dealing with Blood Moon followed by Dragapult EX Phantom Dive, with how the prize cards are situated here for Rafal, seems a bit difficult. Not being a pessimist, just trying to be realistic in this situation. Saving Jewel Seeker as much as possible really can pay dividends. We'll see how things play out in this game.
Yep, as far as your options go, you have your own Blood Moon, but you're not really accelerated that far into the prize race at that point. So what else are you really doing other than throwing down an energy on Mew? It doesn't feel great.
We could see the energy go down onto Mew EX. Rafal doesn't know where this Lily's Clefairy is located in the prize cards, and Mew can always just copy the Phantom Dive attack for 3 energy. Thanks to Lily's Clefairy, we usually see it in combination with Gardevoir, but this deck can still take advantage of that, albeit it's not as powerful without Monkey Dory. So here we go. We're going to see this Pokemon move to the bench thanks to that Hyper Blower ability. Wellspring Ogrepon will go use that Torrential Pump, taking 2 prize cards, targeting that Drakloak down, so no Phantom Dive available for Justin this turn, but we see how smart it was to pre-attach those Psychic Energy to this Pokemon, the Blood Moon.
But no energy attachment this turn here from Rafal, just chooses to hold on to the Lightning Energy.
Yeah, it's interesting. We saw 1 energy switch hit the discard pile with the Ultra Ball, but it's never bad to just have an extra energy in play as a potential to switch that off later. Interesting choice here from Rafal. If he comes up an energy short, it could always come back to bite him.
Yeah,
He noted that in this game.
There's chances to use another Wellspring Mask Ogerpon and start to take away some of those prize cards there, but it's neither here nor there as we see the counter catcher onto the Pheasantipity, targeting the lifeline of this draw engine here as it's just 1 Hoot remaining. Take those prizes, or take those prize cards, and also take the draw off the board.
We see a very rare unintended use. Luminous Energy attached to a Pokemon with another Luminous Energy, which then cancels the Rainbow effect. Doesn't matter on Blood Moon. It takes any energy. Anything will feed this bear, and he is awake and he's ready to go.
It's just flavorless, but it's, you know what? It's getting the job done.
Food is food, right? So really big card here for Justin.
Wow.
If he doesn't find a Drakloak, he's not going to be able to attack the following turn. I think there is one in the hand.
There is one, along with everybody Buddy Poffin and a Badoo to go along with this. Just not the cards that you'd like to see when you see a massive draw of 8.
Does, of course, still have that A-Spec, the Neo upper energy available. So, again, even if Blood Moon Ursaluna does fall to something like a Pikachu EX, can't even use something like the Full Moon Rondo, which would be great in this spot because that Elise Clefairy is prized. Have to continue to stress how solid that would be.
And for Justin, maybe there's some other draws that you could have looked forward to. If you found the Dusknoir, then there was a world where you could take the Hoot Hoot and the Pheasantipity off the board at the same time. Now it's just the Drakloak trying to draw through, see a little more, but we've seen a lot of basic Pokemon already. Is this the board that you're going to be working with the rest of the game?
Considering using the Dusclops in this spot. Very curious where this damage is going to go on to. It is going to be the Fan Rotom. Very interesting. Trying to figure out what his thought process is with doing this. Maybe just wants to give an extra prize card. Oh, of course, we need it for the season skill. Let's not forget. It needs to have the 4 prize cards remaining for that attack to go through. Sometimes we see enough energy cards on.
He had 3 energies on, and he had 2 prize cards remaining.
Oh,
right?
really? Yeah, hold on.
I don't know if he realized he didn't need that taken, but either way, he's going to get the prize. The 2 prizes on the Fez.
I thought I was going crazy. I thought he needed to get rid of that here, but no. Was able to attack season skill, reducing the attack cost of the Blood Moon Ursaluna for each prize card your opponent has taken. So 5 minus 2 plus the 3, it's 5 equals 5. You know how it works. So deciding to use that Dusclops early on, I have to wonder if maybe not having it brought to the active again off something like Iron Bundle. There's always a method to the madness. We'll see this turn played out for Rafal. Does find Crispin yet again. Will be Grass Energy in the water. And once again, this energy is going to go onto this Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. At minimum, Sob is always a nice option to just make sure nothing's going to happen on the following turn attack-wise.
Ethan, look at this, though. You have a chance with a Blood Moon Ursaluna that already attacked to take a KO on the Drakloak, leave the Blood Moon in the active, and then it can't attack you next turn. It's still stuck because you used Blood Moon on the previous turn. So you can just take this KO here on the Drakloak, and you're staring down no threats for a future turn.
Yeah, and even has the knockout potentially lined up next turn with a Myriad Leaf Shower from this Teal Mask Ogerpon. So all things considered, Rafal pivoting nicely here in this game. Even though he's facing that big, beefy Pokemon, a lot of players would tunnel and try and take that one-hit KO. Rafal staying calm, cool, collected, deciding to go for a lot more passive of a route. And again, Justin still having Latias EX prized along with that Professor Turo means if he wants to keep this Blood Moon not KO'd, he's going to have to retreat those 3 energy cards off, and I'm not sure he can afford to do that in this spot.
Yeah, it just does not feel great. These resources just have not worked out well for Justin. He does have access to a Badoo. There's a world where you can find Counter Catcher, stall, slow down on a Pokemon like Noctowl, something like that to maybe bide some time. Iono is going to be the first piece of this.
It's tough because if you attack with Badoo here, it just gets Sob locked in the active and you lose the next turn to a Torrential Pump. So Badoo's not even an option in this spot.
Yeah, it would have to be Counter Catcher, stall on Noctowl, and wait a turn.
Yeah, all we need is 1 energy. But yeah, I mean, when you're in desperation mode like this, you've got to do what you can.
I think desperation mode fits pretty perfectly for what Justin just did. He threw his hand down in disbelief of what he's working with here. This is just not what he needed to see. Crispin is found. Only piece that's not closing this game out here is if you had the answer with to be able to shift these Pokemon around, but I think you can just get the job done with Teal Mask Ogerpon if you can move this active.
Yeah, once again, no rare candy in this deck here for Justin, so you got to take 3 turns to get this Pokemon up and into play. With that not being an option and with Phantom Dive not being possible, you can just go about doing everything as you want. Even putting this energy on the Mew EX can use the Teal Dance ability plus a manual attachment since that energy was accelerated from the Crispin. But no, it's actually going to be another use of that Sob, locking this Blood Moon active. This is really curious to me, though, in this spot. Maybe there wasn't another Grass energy available for that to use the Myriad Leaf Shower.
Yeah, I mean, 1 more closes the game out and gets the job done. Instead, it's just the 20 damage, pass over the turn. Yes, this Blood Moon is stuck in the active, but it's kind of what you need at this point. Counter Catcher is found, and there are more energies on this board, so less energies to retreat Noctowl.
If the Counter Catcher is there, like you say, you could go after the Teal Mask in this spot and just take the KO, force yourself into a spot where you can't KO both the Blood Moon and the Drakloak on the same turn, or at least be able to use it again. This game is playing out so interestingly here because I'm not sure what Justin's plan is. Does he hope that Rafal just doesn't have a way to get Noctowl out of the active spot?
It looks like he's trying to chain together a couple turns. 1 turn without Sob means this Blood Moon can retreat, and maybe he can work in that Neo Upper Energy Dragapult EX and start to take over some prize cards, but where are you going with this?
I'm really scratching my head here a little bit, Kyle. You know, we are always knowledgeable in terms of how things are working out. What plan does Justin have? Does it revolve around Dragapult EX's Phantom Dive, and is this just desperation to buy time? I think it's got to be the big Curse Blast plus Phantom Dive. Justin seems to think that's the best way to close this game out. And with the 5 damage counters on the Fan Rotom, Dusknoir plus Hawlucha would
Well, there was
be
a Sob, right? We're not retreating.
We did use Sob, so yep.
Yeah, that needs to
Sob
stop.
was used, so we can't use this. Let's hope everything gets stopped here. This Noctowl did move from the bench to the active spot, so yeah, this Pokemon can't move. Good catch, Mr. Sablehouse. I like how you move.
Yeah, you know, well, this is where you need to be, though. This is a pass of the turn. You hope to see missed energy from Rafal's side. If that's the case, there is a way to close out the game. That is a Crispin, however. Crispin does not usually lead to you sticking around in the game.
All right, I don't know how we got here, but we got here at the end of the day. A little bit ups and downs, but Rafal's going to get it done in game 1.
Yeah, there was a scenario where Justin can take the win on the following turn there. He had the Neo Upper, he had the Dragapult, damage on the Fan Rotom, and he could use that Dusclops to get the job done, or even Dusknoir if he got to that point. He was going to take 4 prize cards. It was the most unlikely way of ever getting to that point, though, because he sat there with a Blood Moon the entire game. Let's see how that panned out for him.
Breaking news, Dragapult deck does not use Dragapult EX. That's the story of game number 1. Justin just blown out of the water, and that's what Tera Box does best. It snipes those Pokemon on the bench, it takes KOs, and you really can't deal with it. Blood Moon Ursaluna got active. They used its skill a little bit earlier than it should have, maybe as a Cub. It got in there, it swung with Blood Moon, took some big KOs, and it just kept being answered by Rafal. It was just the lack of bench Pokemon, the lack of multiple Dracloak in play at the same time that led to every Dracloak that got established getting KO'd thanks to Torrential Pump. See if the tables can turn just a little bit for Justin in the second game.
Yeah, I mean, this was a spot where, for Rafal, I don't think things went perfectly. There weren't additional energies in play. He didn't have turns where he could capitalize on boss's orders and take away the specifically right Pokemon for himself. And he had Lily's Clefairy and a Psychic Energy in the prize.
Yeah.
Like, as far as games go against Dragapult, that's not what you're expecting. However, if you're just staring down Blood Moon, it's going to get the job done for you.
And this Dragapult deck that usually likes to go second, opting first in this matchup against Tera Box. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you don't like seeing your opponent use a turn 2 Noctowl going second, or going first, because it just means they're going to flood through and take those Pokemon off the board. However, this isn't a great setup for Justin. He's just energy passing, and we know what this deck is capable of. I mean, Ethan, this could just be game sometimes.
If you can have the nuts, you got it, right? Sometimes it works that way. You know, if you've got it, you've got it. In this case, you know, even just having something like Fan Rotom, you know, using Assault Landing could just be enough in this spot. You've got a Stadium card. We see 1 is prized. There is 3 total in the deck. But with this Ditto coming up, there must not be a Stadium, since it feels like a lot of the times you might just want to go for that KO on the Dreepy because it guarantees you're going to be at a 2-prize lead before your opponent does anything.
All right, we see the transformative start in the hand. It was 2 energy. It looked like a boss's orders and not much else. If you want to use the, well, there was an Ultra Ball too. But if you want to use the Ultra Ball, thin down with Mew, really go for it all. There is a world where you find the perfect answer, but you typically don't get to the Sparkling Crystal on this opening turn. That would be something else, and maybe you don't need to be that greedy.
I don't think you need to be that guy in this spot. I 100% agree with you there, Kyle. But, you know, as simple as things are, this is as perfect as it just needs to be. You get the energy attachment down onto this Water Ogerpon, and at the same time, you're going to be able to sob this active Dreepy and force a Dracloak out for this to move out of the active spot as well. Preemptively also just using this Ultra Ball. You are going to get rid of a couple resources, that boss's orders, and this energy switch. You got to play around, but that monster will lock you up quick.
Yeah, it's just losing out on any resources that can get you through your deck.
Oh, come on.
This is risky business, mister.
If he can't even draw into it off 1 is the I don't think he has Crispin. I think he just wants to draw a card.
Maybe he has.
Let him draw a card.
Maybe he has Noctowl already. Okay, all right. Enjoy your card.
He already has Noctowl.
Okay,
it's already.
You get 1 free card then. Enjoy.
Okay, it's another Water Pond. Okay, if you ripped the Crispin there, I would have been ready to lose it. So here we go. Action back on Justin's side. Does have Dracloak, so by evolving that Pokemon, it does break the Sob lock. So now this Pokemon can retreat. Energy onto the bench Dreepy, and for as simple as things went turn 1, this is a pretty good follow-up on turn 2. Attachment to the bench, being able to retreat and go into Budu to item lock. It's always scary, though, when that Wellspring Ogrepon has an energy on it, because you can threaten devastation on the following turn.
And you can see that Justin thought about that with his setup. He attached the Luminous Energy to the bench Dreepy, and he's going to split the fact that there is a Dracloak in the active and an energy on the Dreepy. So a decision has to be made. Rafal's not going to cash in all at once on both of those Pokemon here. He has to pick one or the other. What is left in his hand, though?
I think there may be a couple of searching cards for Pokemon, something like Buddy Poffin, deciding to maybe wants more than 2 basic Pokemon, so it's just going to use this Recon Directive first. But there's plenty of searching cards, so just choosing to maybe be a little bit meticulous about how the bench is constructed in this spot, it's got to be what it is.
Yeah, when you see Nest Ball and Buddy Poffin and Ultra Ball in the hand, and yet you're still drawing for basic Pokemon, it means you know that this is going to be a multiple turn excursion for you. You need to lose a few of these basic Pokemon in setting up, so maybe he feels comfortable giving up Pokemon like the Dreepy, like the Badoo, whatever it may be, and then understands that this is going to be a game where you have to nice stretch these Pokemon back. Wow.
Just a couple supporters, nothing too crazy. Just 5 of the 6 prizes.
When did that happen?
In between game 1 and game 2.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Look who's hiding out there again as well.
Yeah, poor Latios just wants to do fun things and let its friends skate around, but that's not the case. It's just a retreat here, losing the energy, but rightfully so, as Badoo sneaks into the active and begins the Itchy Pollen for a pretty important 10 damage sometimes.
10 damage, 100% can be relevant, can be nice. It puts this into range of a Phantom Dive. However, Raphael's got a huge opportunity to just swing the game in his court. It's always scary when your opponent only has 2 Drakloak in play. If you can find Sparkling Crystal Energy Boss's Orders, you can wipe out any Phantom Dive potential for the following turn.
Yeah, double Drakloak KO here would be pretty great to see, and it's not that much to ask for if the Noctowl is present.
And the energy's already in hand. It's just there.
Yeah, he's got everything he needs. This is a quick search right now. Boss's Orders and Sparkling Crystal gets you where you need to go. Double KO on Drakloak is online. You remove all the energy from the board here too, and Justin is just thinking to himself, how did we get here? This is happening twice in a row now, where my opponent just always has it, and I'm just drawing utter garbage on my side of the board.
That Metal Energy Noctowl, the 2 cards left in hand after the end of the turn, restart for 1, and here we go. Boss's Orders, using that restart to draw a card and taking out both Drakloak. Justin's got no response to this. Water Ogerpon powered up, and there's still a Hoot on the bench. Crispin was the draw for turn last turn. It seems like Rafal is just unstoppable in this spot.
Yeah, he's got Sob too. He can just continue to tap in at the Badoo, take a little bit of damage, chipped here, chipped there, and you'll eventually find the resources you need. And remember, this game, he does have access to Lily's Clefairy. There will be an answer to the inevitable Dragapult once it finally gets established.
So in this spot here, in terms of disruption, which Badoo is great at cultivating, what does Justin need to do to prevent another Water Ogerpon Torrential Pump next turn?
Yeah, we saw this last game from him. It's once more about finding ways to slow your opponent down. There's not a lot of ways to do that, as your opponent's deck is streamlined with the Latios to move these Pokemon, throw energies around left and right. The only really way you can do that is disrupt their hand with the Iono and countercatch your Noctowl and force the energies to go in inopportune places.
So step 1 here for Justin is, of course, evolving into Dracloak, threatening Dragapult EX for the following turn. Quick peek at Rafal's hand, not much going on there. We'll get to his action a little bit later. Flip the script, still plenty to do, and does notably find that counter catcher as well as the Jamming Tower. Is this a spot where you maybe stay a bit conservative and wait to play that down, or do you just slam the Jamming Tower when you see it?
See, I think you might want to hold on to it in this situation. It has to be Crispin in combination with a card that doesn't exist, because Switch is the only other way to move this Noctowl. Maybe it has to be Turo, but you can't do both of those cards at the same time. So you know your opponent is going to telegraph an energy at some point in time, and when they do, you already have the answer built in. Dracloak has energy. It can KO this crystal Pokemon at any point in time as soon as it sees boss.
Recon Directive, number 1, the only one available for Justin this turn. Does look at the top 2, chooses 1 to the hand, 1 to the bottom. Does have the Dusclops in hand as well. Another counter catcher for the following turn. If this Noctowl doesn't move, you're just going to want to use that again. And important to play the Jamming Tower. I understand what you say about holding on to it, but you've got to remember, Air Balloon is always a potential threat, and that could definitely just be one Noctowl search away from losing this. So plays the Jamming Tower down. Crispin is the top deck for turn. So Rafal can accelerate some energy into play, but without a Stadium card and without a Noctowl, with there being no Pokemon to retrieve from the discard pile, is the play just to sob this active? It doesn't seem terrible.
I mean, we've seen crazier. We've seen Noctowl attack in situations like this. You can do whatever you want. And certainly, you could go that route. Rafal has shown us that he's not afraid to use any attack on his board.
We'll see 2 energy. Are we going to see the Speedwing come in here?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Speedwing KO. Rafal, understanding that some of these Dragapult decks do play that Professor Turo scenario, and if that did hit the board, it would essentially negate the entire turn and leave that Wellspring Mask Ogerpon susceptible to being KO'd. So Rafal's not taking any chances, wants to go to 3 prize cards and try and close things out with 1 more powerful attack.
All right, well, for Justin now, he's looking for an energy, I think. I think we saw the Luminous energy, but he does now have the basic Psychic to go along with this. He has the Dragapult ready to attack. He has the Counter Catcher to go along with this. A Hawlucha to target down the Hoot would be ideal, but he does have the bailout button of Dusclops or Dusknoir as well.
Ultra Ball in the hand, so it is there if he so chooses.
It looks like you can clearly take a pretty commanding board state here. You can KO this Teal Mask or this Wellspring Ogrepon, the Hoot as well. The only problem is, do you feel comfortable leaving those energy on board?
Yeah.
Energy switches can fly.
They could. I even wonder, is this a spot where you just target Mew EX down and shut that off as a potential option and try and win the game in 2 turns that way?
True. Yeah, if you already think the Jamming Tower is going to stick, then you can look at that Crystal Pokemon as pretty useless here and target a Pokemon that is more realistically going to be a problem.
Yeah, and I think this is the idea here. Put that 10 damage on the Fan Rotom and set up 2 attacks to win this game. We'll see the boss's orders is actually going to choose to go after the Wellspring Mask, so prioritizing that over the Mew, but the idea is still the same. Phantom Dive, take 3, and then the following turn, Phantom Dive, take 3. And there's a Dusknoir as well, which is going to make that even easier if Rafal cannot take a knockout on Dragapult EX this turn, and it's going to be pretty difficult. We'll see what he can put together.
Of all Pokemon to promote, the only one without pre-retreat is in the active spot here in Noctowl. Of course, you can retreat, you can use Energy Switch, we could see Lily's Clefairy, and there could be a big KO here. And maybe that is what saves you here. If you can go down to 1 prize card remaining against a Dusknoir, then you don't see the Curse Blast this next turn.
So interesting choice, as you said, to promote that, but a big-time find. I'll flip the script, the Nest Ball for Lily's Clefairy, and found the Crispin, I believe, either off the top of the deck or it was in the hand the previous turn.
Okay.
So here we go. Lily's Clefairy, while it was hiding out on the bench supporting its team from the prizes in Game 1, it's making its star-studded debut here on the stream in this matchup. See it come down. The Psychic Energy, I believe, is still in the deck. As long as there are 2 energy in the deck, that means Crispin can power this Pokemon up. And with how he's playing, I think this is going to be the case here.
Oh, I mean, there was almost a really great line. If you had the Energy Switch instead, maybe you could use the Professor Turo on a Pokemon like that Fan Rotom and save that last prize card from being taken from Justin. If you KO the Fan Rotom and the Clefairy this turn with Neo Upper Energy Dragapult, that is the game. We'll see if Justin is able to find that as he is staring down 3 prize cards in a dream with a Pheasantipity and Recon Directive.
Hilda can search that out immediately. That's just a guaranteed win if he can find the Hilda. Can search out those exact 2 cards, Dragapult EX and Neo Upper. First Recon Directive to no avail. Finds the Night Stretcher. We'll see the 3 cards from the...
Saw Dragapult, but maybe needs a little more help.
There is an Iono in the hand. There's a Lily as well, but then you'd shuffle back all these cards you drew. Of course, wanted to use those abilities because of Hilda being a guaranteed way. But with Justin only playing 1 Hilda in the deck, I wonder if maybe you were supposed to just play the Lily to start your turn off and then just draw a bunch of cards instead.
Yeah, we'll see how this works now as we have the Ultra Ball that you can go towards. This is one more thin that can happen, but it may just come down to drawing with those 6 cards and finding the perfect 2-card answer.
It's there.
Yep.
At minimum, Justin can still swing with the Blood Moon Ursaluna this turn. It is still available to clear out the Lily's Clefairy. Doesn't feel great, but it doesn't guarantee the game. Your opponent would still need to find energy boss's orders because let's not forget that Noctowl's still got the energy.
There's a Pheasantipity on board still. Like you're not. I don't think there's a world where your opponent doesn't find a way to KO Badoo next turn, but you can hedge your bets here and go with both Pokemon. I mean, if you can Night Stretcher Dragapult and just have both, so this is fine.
Got to give yourself at least some opportunity. Leaving Lily's Clefairy active just sounds like a recipe for disaster here.
Yeah, that's,
And Justin understands, I think his outs are better here by just playing this because he's not shuffling the hand back in. Let's see if he can find the Neo Upper. 1 more card. No, you'd slam it if you had it. It's not there. Rafaldo put it 1 card, has the Mew EX to draw a little bit with restart, but we are coming down to the wire here in Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, think about what he needs at this point, though. It's not that much from Rafal. He's got a free retreater. He's got restart. He's got Fez. He has Fan Rotom. There's a stadium in play. He just needs a boss's orders and an energy to get the job done. Even Noctowl almost can take the knockout here, but he doesn't have the pieces yet.
And let's remember, he retreated the energy off the previous turn, so boss's orders would have just been the game if he brought Mew up instead.
He's going to hold on to the Pikachu, draw 1 card. He finds a Wellspring. That's not the piece, but maybe you could slow down and stall with this Pokemon, drawing 3 now.
No, it's just the Nest Ball. He's got a Blood Moon Ursaluna of his own. You can promote that Pokemon and use the attack to hit 240 in.
I think you're using Wellspring and Crispin to sob.
And trap this Blood Moon. It feels like you have to. The bench can be expanded if there's an Area 0 later on. There may not be a better option than this. Use this Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, and this also threatens game next turn with a single energy and a Torrential Pump onto either Badoo or Hawlucha on the bench.
And Justin takes a quick note of his hand and peeks to see if Professor Turo's scenario is there, as this is one key way to get out of this mess.
And there is a very interesting dynamic here. If Justin wants to, he can force this game to sudden death.
Yep, I was thinking that too.
And I think he has to in this spot because he loses to a single energy card. Do you take that risk and assume your opponent doesn't have it?
You have to assume that your opponent will have that, and he could send it. He's grabbing the Dusknoir. We're going to go.
If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me here, Kyle. Are we going to the Shadow Realm?
It's looking like it. At least the Lost Zone. Yeah, there's not much else to do. This hand does not play. Fan Rotom, come join me. We're going down.
We're going to sudden death, but let's not forget, first prize wins, and Rafal is by far favored in this spot. How does Dragapult ever win a game in sudden death here, Kyle?
I don't think we thought that far ahead.
I mean, look, it's better than losing on the spot.
That's true.
Let's not get it twisted in this spot. Justin understands it's better than just conceding the game, or again taking that risk that Revolve doesn't have energy. So you can't
Dragon Headbutt into Fan Rotom. We'll find something. Come on.
If you manifest the rare candy, can it become true?
No, we're attacking with Drakloak.
Oh, of course, of course. Some petty grudge action, 2 turns in a row.
Of course.
7 turns in a row, you have to use the bite instead to do a little bit more damage.
This would be the most iconic way to close out a day 1 on stream that we've seen. If you take them to sudden death and win the unwinnable 1 prize game.
So let's get confirmation on who's going first in this spot. So it looks like it's a flip. We'll make sure everything is in place. It will be the first prize card to take, will be the winner. So these players are going to set up like a normal game.
What if he just keeps popping dust snores?
It's possible, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. So remember, these players are playing a tiebreaker to see who wins game number 2. The first player to take a prize card in this spot will win game number 2. So this is still technically game 2. Revolve's going to get things kicked off going first, which is exactly what you want since you're threatening a lot. However, as we look at these prize cards, the Sparkling Crystal is in the prizes. So this is step number 1 if you're on Team Justin for him to pull this game out, which seems almost improbable, especially with there being a solid start. Fan Rotom plus Ultra Ball yet again.
I mean, you just eye up any attacker at this point. How you get the job done here has to seemingly be the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. You have the Latias, you have free retreat, you can move this Pokemon around, and energy on Wellspring basically seals the deal if you bench Hoot in combination.
Looks like we're getting a confirmation here on a potential ruling.
I think there was he looked at the deck before he actually made the discard choices.
What?
But we'll get confirmation of that.
I don't know if I've heard that one before.
I think he's excited to play Sudden Death on stream. Do you blame him?
I'm excited here. I can't even blame it myself. So it looks like we're going to get confirmation just as things were heating up. There's a judge call. It's the story of my life, unfortunately. But look, this is the way things go sometimes. We'll make sure everything is...
And let's keep it PG. This is the tiebreaker game, I guess. We need to switch up the vernacular.
My mistake.
No, I mean, I was saying it too. I got excited.
Not sudden death.
Whoa. Hey, calm down.
I'm calm. Tiebreaker.
Yeah, there we go.
Appropriate lingo here for those watching at home.
Now, even if this were to be a double prize penalty...
Oh, it would just...
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
No, because you need to take a prize, right?
No, it doesn't work that way in the Pokemon TCG, Kyle.
Stop.
It's however, whoever is at less prize cards. So it still works the same way, essentially.
But in a sudden death,
it's first
in a tiebreaker game.
Yes, it would be like if you're at 2 prize cards left and your opponent DPLs themselves.
No, but you're not. You're at 6 prize cards left, and you need to take 1 prize card to win.
So everybody's just immune to DPLs in a tiebreaker game?
Yeah, you should definitely use Ultra Ball and look through your deck first. I mean, it's gonna follow you to your other games. But yeah, I don't think that it works like that.
We're not experts here, so we'll leave the theory up to the professionals.
Tell us at home what you think.
Hashtag play Pokemon?
Yeah.
I like that hashtag. We're going to get confirmation here. We were talking about how Justin could potentially win in a tiebreaker game. Step 1, prize Sparkling Crystal. Step 2, have the judge called on you, on your opponent.
Yes. Step 2 is definitely they Ultra Ball and just grab their deck because they're excited. It works out.
Things are getting crazy here in Vegas. We're only on day 1. We're just going to showcase for the rest of phase 2.
This is what it's all about. 2 players hungry for a match win here, to a point where they will send us into more Pokemon TCG action, even in the most unlikely circumstances of victory.
We'll see how things play out. Of course, we'll make sure everybody is given an appropriate ruling. The situation is handled.
I'm excited.
I mean, look, to keep it plain, we're going to keep saying it's Rafal's game to lose. Like, I would put a 90% favorite for him to win, easily. You know, with multiple ways to take KOs and prizes.
I mean, we're in the right city to get somebody to take that bet.
Good odds?
Yeah, I think you could find some takers.
So we'll see what the conclusion is at this point, since, of course, there's the issue of deck knowledge and things being played. You can see Rafal can't help but crack a smile in this spot, and we can't help ourselves either. This is not what you see on a normal Tuesday, that's for sure.
It is ridiculous, but awesome. Yeah, probably going to be a double prize penalty in this spot, but we'll see how it plays with the rules of the tiebreaker game. We seem to not understand how that works just yet.
No, we're learning just like you at home.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild experience. In game 2, setting up for the 3rd time, and likely after this we could even see more Pokemon, who knows.
Just make sure everything is cleared out, everybody's got a good understanding. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss here. You know, we were just at the climax, the peak of what was happening in this match. Now we've got to slow things down a little bit. This happens, it happens in the Pokemon TCG. Yeah. And let's not forget, during this extra tiebreaker game, the clock is still running.
Yep.
So it does mean that, if Justin is somehow able to pull this game out for whatever circumstances become of this situation, we're probably only have a little bit under 20 minutes left to play this game number 3. Probably even less than that, essentially, to play this game number 3.
Yeah, that's a great point as well, is you only have so much time to play out your games, and taking us into this tiebreaker game, who knows if that was where we really needed to be, but we're here now. And what is going to happen here for Rafal? Looking for the explanation. Looks to see if we keep playing the game.
I mean, this is absolutely, what things come down to sometimes. You feel like you got it locked up, and that confidence can kill sometimes. It's not really what you want to see, but this is the Pokemon TCG. Anything can happen. Stories and flips can script. Flips can script. Scripts can flip.
You know what? I think it's time to invite our good pal Chip Ritchie.
We got him on standby?
I sure hope so, because
is he always standing in that booth for us at our command at any point?
He just runs over quickly, frantically washing his hands.
Oh my
Hello,
God!
Chip.
Hey guys, how's it going?
He did it.
What's going on?
So yeah, I'm kind of getting caught up to speed on exactly what happened in this game. But when it comes to the tiebreaker game, seems like you guys have some questions about how that all works.
Yes, please.
So but the situation looks like is that both players were at one prize remaining. Justin used first blast, took a prize, both players satisfying the same number of win conditions at the same time, right? Sending us to a tiebreaker game. Both players set up and set out 6 prize cards, and we're trying to resolve game number 2. And it's the first player to take a prize card wins game number 2. That's all that tiebreaker game is doing. It has nothing to do with like a third game or anything like that. It is its own separate thing, trying to resolve a game number 2. And what happened here with Rafael is that he attempted to use Ultra Ball without discarding any cards, picked up his deck, right, saw cards, and that's what we're getting into with the judge ruling here. And unfortunately, you know, I do believe he's been issued a double prize card penalty for that infraction, picking up his deck, doing an illegal deck search. And that would mean that Justin is effectively ahead on prize cards, right? He wins that tiebreaker game. So that means Justin is the winner of game number 2, and it looks like the players are now setting up for what will be the decisive game number 3.
That is why you get yourself a Chip Ritchie, everyone. Thank you, as we needed that help there to get across the finish line, and now we are ready to take this game into this match into game number 3, where it actually worked. Taking us into a tiebreaker game for Justin, got him a game win, and he gets to play one more game of Pokemon. Can you believe it?
I don't know what's happening right now. My head is spinning, but no matter what, we're playing Pokemon. We've got 10 minutes on the clock, and if there are cards and 2 players at our stream desk, we're going to see action.
Giddy up. Well, this is everything we'd love to see here. For Rafal, he's got the optimal setup, moving into that transformative start, throwing down the Wellspring. Does he have energy to go along with it? I think that's the only thing we're missing.
No energy. We'll be going first, so it's not as big of a deal as, you know, if you are going second in a certain spot to threaten that boss's orders KO. Is there nothing here?
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt, but that's a turn. I think it's just bosses and counter catchers and
oh my.
night stretchers, yeah.
And we're going to see the game end on this turn. It's guaranteed. Rafal's got a Nest Ball in hand. As long as there's a Latios here. Oh no. Can we pull up the prize cards?
Yeah, wait. Yeah, that's not good.
It is still possible,
there's
though.
a world. Teal Mask can energy switch over. We could see all of the shenanigans. But do you even need all the shenanigans? Your opponent went boss dreepy pass.
I mean, if you got a chance to end the game right now, you got to end it.
All right.
So what is needed here? Energy onto the Teal Mask Ogerpon, energy switch Crispin. So how many can we just grab guaranteed pieces here?
And a way to move this Hoothoot.
Way to move as well. There is the Nest Ball in hand, and is that 4 copies of Crispin in the hand? Am I losing my mind?
I think he's ready for next turn.
I think he can accelerate energy, guys. Don't worry. So still deciding what we want off of this. And I think the pieces are here, essentially, as long as there's a way to search out.
Oh, we had Latios already.
Oh, the Latios is here.
Okay. I mean, no, well, he's just going to go fishing for the energy then. I think that's the one piece that's missing. He can go grass energy and with the water energy, and then if he just switches over the energy, then he just needs to find one more. Well, is he trying to get it done with second Noctowl, too? Maybe.
Well, the problem is you need an extra energy as well, because you have to commit your energy you're searching from the deck.
Does he have a way to search out energy? Looks like there's one vessel in the deck.
Well, the biggest issue is we don't have another way to find Noctowl.
He's just going to rip Noctowl right now.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not there, but
that would have been cool.
Sob is still just more than good enough in this spot, no?
Yeah, this is still perfect. You still have the Crispin to fall back on here.
Finds Ultra Ball off the top, so there is life in this hand now.
Of all the cards to give him, this is one that's pretty hard to play. Loses both Dragapult, has a Night Stretcher, but it gives you one more card, and maybe it finds you a Lilies.
Yeah, and this Duskull was essentially trapped in the active spot. The only way it can move is if it evolves into Dusclops and uses that Cursed Blast ability, but it's not going to get a lot of value, and it's going to get Rafal one prize closer to closing this out. Justin's got to find something, though, off of this. If there is no Pokemon or way to draw cards from this Recon Directive, Rafal is sitting on game in hand. He's got Crispin for water energy and any other basic type of energy, and that Torrential Pump can take the KO on both of these Pokemon. It's going to come down to this big 2 cards from Recon Directive if Justin wants to stay in this game.
Yeah, pretty devastating that it comes down to this at this point. He's worked tirelessly to get here. 2 cards looking for a supporter. He does find the Lily's Determination.
Wow.
He will see a huge hand. However, still need some help. I think that you don't feel comfortable unless this concludes with a Buddy Buddy Puffin and another energy, because losing that Neo upper energy, losing that Drakloak, it's going to be difficult, but maybe if you're able to spread these energies around, set up a few more Pokemon, you can see a way to draw prize cards.
So here we go, 8 cards from the Lilies. I think we may have found 7 ways to search Pokemon out.
I don't think he needs 7 ways.
We're going to take a look at the hand.
But he could.
Oh my gosh, it's all Pokemon in an Ultra Ball plus an energy? Are you kidding me?
I mean, Latias Badu, you can Well, you're saw blocked.
You're saw blocked. You're not going anywhere, buddy.
Just give him some hope.
No hope out here, unfortunately. Now, the question is, do you wait to play Ultra Ball this turn? You've already got every Pokemon you potentially want in your hand. Is considering getting rid of this Hawlucha. We saw how valuable that could have been in game number 2.
Yeah, it comes down to how much you need to set up this board with the width. If you can have multiple Pokemon down, then oh wow, he's actually going to go Dusclops here. I'm nervous. This is one more Noctowl means energy switch, boss's order, something that could lead to a Drakloak KO easily, along with some other pieces. There's so many ways to move this Pokemon off the board. However, it is Badoo moving to the active. Item lock will be established. He does not know that on the other side is a pile of Crispin.
Too many Crispin to count, that's for sure. Energy does come down onto the Dreepy, like you mentioned.
Oh my goodness, and there's no other benching here. If there is an Iron Bundle to go along with this, oh man, could this hurt.
There might be a Nest Ball in the hand, time will tell. Rafal playing this Crispin, finally putting the 3 energy and is not even going to play anything else from the hand. Worried about the time left in the round, just taking 2 actions. Drawing for turn, using the Crispin and the effects of it, and then just using that Torrential Pump, taking 2 prize cards. As Justin is now left with just this Lily in the hand, not much else, and again, cannot threaten anything more than something like an Ichipal in this turn.
He's really holding on to his last few decisions to make here. Uses Pheasantipity, has flipped the script, can counter the Stadium, which could move away Pokemon like that Fan Rotom if you're worried about the damage. But when you see pieces like Hawlucha already gone, maybe you just go for more of that consistency. And you will see 8 more cards now.
It's always nice to make Night Stretcher a potential Jewel Seeker option if you want to, so never bad to get rid of that, but yeah, getting rid of the damage would also not be bad. So flip the script being used, we're going to see 8 cards drawn, and I mean, look, you've got Buddy Poffin, you can find some Dreepy, you've already got 1 in the discard pile, so depending on how many are left in the deck, which there are 2 available, but the big question is going to be if Rafal can put together another Torrential Pump, how is Justin realistically winning this game? Can't only rely on that Blood Moon.
Right, and for Rafal, he's already down to 3 prize cards remaining, given that easy card handed over by the Dusclops. You're almost already at a checkmate spot. As soon as you open up the board with the Area 0 Underdepths, Lily's Clefairy can basically KO any EX from that point onward. There's a lot to look forward to for Rafal, however, it does take time. This is another easy KO, but this is kind of where you need to be as you're Justin. You have to slow things down to a snail's pace.
So once again, Ichipalin and the energy card going on to Drakloak. Just needs to buy 1 more turn of time here to get this Drakloak evolved into Dragapult, to get it out of Torrential Pump range.
All right, Area 0.
So the bench will be opened back up thanks to Area 0. Vitality Band is here.
Oh my gosh, Vitality Sob goes crazy. What are we doing?
I've never seen a Torrential Pump, or rather a Sob hit this hard. This is Ultra Tears right here from this Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. Sob, and also accelerating the Psychic Energy onto the Lily's Clefairy, means that Justin needs to not only find this Dragapult EX, but also the boss's orders or counter catcher to take it out as well. And let's not forget the energy too.
And I'm a little nervous about the discard here. It was a discard of a Luminous Energy and an attachment of a Fire. If there's a world where you see the wrong energy type here, it looks like he only plays the 1 Fire, so it should be okay. But you get nervous that maybe some of these start to add up. Looks like he's still got this big Pokemon here ready to go. However, does need some help.
It does have Night Stretcher from that Recon Directive, and that's where Hawlucha could come back into play. Has to make a decision between either that or the Duskull, but because the Dusclops was already used and there's only the 1/1/1 line, it's got to be the Hawlucha targeting down the Hoot Hoot. That is a potential to be KO'd along with this Lily's Clefairy. And the question now, do you risk it and play the Iono to try and find counter catcher, or do you just guarantee the Gust with boss's orders here?
It feels like he has to risk it. He didn't see much in the hand from Rafal, but also it was just enough to get to where he needed to be. He took the big KO, threatens the Lily's Clefairy. There could certainly be an answer there. It's going to be a lot, though. Energy, counter catcher, some assistance from Drakloak and Pheasantipity. We could certainly see it here, and there is a counter catcher, is the other piece there, at least an energy to go along with this.
Does have
that. Oh my goodness.
So everything here for Justin. The Iono paying dividends, disruption, plus the effect of, we've got to make sure we're being careful with what cards we're putting into our hand, but it looks like we're okay. You never want to make sure we make mistakes. We've made 1 already this set. Let's keep things clean for both of our competitors. Another Recon Directive. Does find Ultra Ball. That could always find Blood Moon or Saluna down the line. Now that Rafal is at 2 prize cards, it does become a very efficient and seasoned attacker in this spot. So now the question here for Justin, do you commit the Luminous Energy? Do you keep the Psychic Energy around? And more importantly, is this counter catcher's opportunity? And it absolutely is. Going after Lily's Clefairy, we're going to see a 3 prize turn, and Justin has somehow found himself back into this game to win in 2 turns.
And look at the timing on this. 10 seconds remaining. If Rafal does draw the card here, then that turn 1 as opposed to turn 0 situation for Justin could be pretty nice for him as far as getting that 1 point or 0. What's it going to be?
And I think with the judges looking over, this is going to be the last turn here. Time has been called
There's
on...
a Pheasantipity.
Oh my goodness, Pheasantipity plus Ultra Ball in the hand.
Yeah, Mew restart for 1, Ultra Ball could draw up, and then you see 3 more cards.
Iron Bundle,
Bundle.
it might cut it here. If
I mean,
you have Blood Moon Ursaluna Energy Switch, it is a potential.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe why Rafal is going to hold on to this Ultra Ball before playing this. It is a consideration here.
Really tough to decide.
Yeah, not an easy choice by any means. So we're going to see Ultra Ball be played. That Lily's Clefairy, though, is in the discard pile now. So they has to find, without any search from Jewel Seeker, the one copy of Night Stretcher to bring that back. Plus Crispin actually needs the Super Rod as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, you need to find all of it because he just doesn't have the pieces to close out.
Does find Blood Moon Ursaluna.
Right.
So now we're looking for Boss's Orders plus Energy Switch. Needs a perfect 3 cards here.
I think you're supposed to use Iron